Okay. Where's that other music from earlier? Oh shoot. Here we are. Okay, we're gonna start with the districts. I have no idea who's here or not. I don't want to wait a couple more minutes. I'll basically take this off. Let's see. Let's go to the home page. A big thank you to every writer who claimed a monster and has been helping us write the lore in this big old urban fantasy world. If you are particularly interested in one of these monsters, check out the writer below. Pages detailing each monster are a work in progress. Stay tuned. Where was the blurb? There was a blurb for this. Was it this one? No. Was it this one? Nope. Well, basically the blurb of this is that monsters live in a separate world than the humans do. No, wait. Humans and monsters live together. It's like, I forgot whether or not it was on Earth. I'm not sure if that was settled or not. Let's see. Every monster belongs to one writer, or sometimes two. Like sometimes one writer will have two monsters. Let's start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, so there's 7 different districts, each like divided by something. I forgot what they're divided. What? I forgot how they're like categorized and stuff. I think it's by element. Yes, element. Fire stuff here. I can't tell the difference between Gone Street and Dearly Departed. And New Nimbus is where the air elements, cloudy stuff. And let's see, Sailway is the water, Serenity Meadows is earth, and the red waste I think is, yeah, that's fire. Well, let's start with the amalgamate. I have until 8:30, so I'm going to try to be quick. The amalgamate is home to a population of more than 5 million denizens of the city, about half of whom are human as of today. It was the 7th and last of the city's districts, planned and developed in the year 140 PU. The district is a winding, multi-layered metropolis, something of a miniature reproduction of the city as a whole. The amalgamate is split into 5 different sections at the edges, each section corresponding with the district closest to it. Gone Street to the east, the Red Waste to the north, the district of the Dearly Departed to the west, Serenity Meadows to the south, and a Sailway to the southeast. Because New Nimbus floats above the city, the southwestern section of the amalgamate serves as its central representation. I almost clicked the wrong tab again. Oops. Since spellcasters primarily take up residence in the amalgamate, the district is a major hub of both magic and technology. Most major developments in Magitech can be traced back to Arcanatech Inc. The biggest magic and tech production company in the city, founded by the spellcasters and based on the Amalgamate. Hi, Vucky. We're doing OC stuff this time. I still want to know who that extra viewer is. I'm just curious, alright? Okay. Oh. Okay, while such magic and technological innovations exist throughout the entire city, prototypes, experiments, and the creations of less experienced casters are far more likely to be seen here alone. The layout and structure of the buildings within the Amalgamate are also impacted by the presence of casters, who are known for delighting in infusing everything with magic for ease of use and a general whimsy of being surrounded by their own magic. Buildings in the Amalgamate are some of the tallest ever seen, standing despite being constructed on inadequate foundations, but never risking collapse with the constant infusion of magic. It's your mob. Now, I mean, at 8:30, yeah, I gotta go, for a couple minutes. Because she needs me to do something. This has allowed the district to consist of multiple layers, each one built with roads and sidewalks that cut through the enormous and impossible buildings stretching from layer to layer. Actually, how many real life people know of this? Well, I told my uncle, but he's just I don't think he actually watches it. Thank God. No, that was it. Yeah, he's not really up to date on anything regarding VTubers. And I think that's it. This has allowed the district to consist of multiple layers, each one built with roads and sidewalks that cut through the enormous and impossible buildings stretching from layer to layer. Though casters were not thrilled at the prospect of giving up pieces of their home district to the other already established districts, they did take quite a lot of pleasure in designing and enchanting these sections with such as stratospheres and new nimbus, vehicles composed entirely of clouds and ice crystals, blood fountains and district of the dearly departed, for the occasional blood-sucking monster, floating ash clouds enchanted to hover permanently over the red wastes. Wait, really? Oh, cool. True darkness sunglasses for Gone Street residents to wander the rest of the city uninhibited, and anti-compulsion microphones for Esailway residents not looking to accidentally murder people with their voices. And, biggest of all, a massive park in the Serenity Meadows section, enchanted to change season every 3 to 5 days. No friends? Nah, I don't actually have any friends that actually, in real life. I wrote the story lore for the city about brownies. Ooh, nice. Is there an article on that? Or should I read it from the anthology's Google Docs? If you're okay with that. I've decided not to read anyone else's lore just in case they're not okay with that. I should have asked before I streamed, but next time I'll ask and read their lore. The district that began as a sort of dumping ground for undesirable monsters and magical beings eventually became a central hub where all monster and eventually even humans could feel welcome. That's not to say that it, too, doesn't suffer from the occasional human massacre or string of disappearances, but it's a start. History. The Amalgamate was the first district of the city to be conceived, but the last to be constructed. Years of disputes among leaders of each district meant that the central neighborhood, meant to unite monster kind, had been redesigned, scrapped, and redesigned again over and over until it became, admittedly, something of a mess. The Storm Archons, Archons makes me think of Genshin. The Storm Archons of New Nimbus demanded a section of the district to be allocated to creating a comfortable space for elementals. The nobility of Serenity Meadows demanded an enormous park to be placed right at the center of the district. The emperors of the wet race demanded at least half of the would-be district be scorched and repurposed into an extension of the Red Wastes. These demands were met with outrage from the monsters whose homes would be situated in the amalgamate, as they were either barred from Serenity Meadows, Gone Street, or the DDD, or physically unable to live in Sailway, New Nimbus, and the Red Wastes. Any of the other districts, spellcasters in particular, pushed back against the demands. Oh, it's on Google Docs. Okay, I'll read your lore then. I should ask in the server. There, I asked. Yeah, you can read it. Yay! Okay. Let me cut this out real quick. Okay, putting this back up. Where was I? Oh, here we are. Spellcasters in particular pushed back against the demands of the other districts, arguing that everyone else had already had a district and had no right or need to claim pieces of theirs. While their protests were successful in keeping the center of the district entirely for the outlier monsters who had none of the other districts to turn to, the outer sections were divided between the other districts, much to their chagrin. Facts about the neighborhood. Why did my voice just crack like that? The amalgamate is easily the largest and most unusual of the districts, situated at the very heart of the city and feeding out into the 5 districts surrounding it, excluding New Nimbus. The amalgamate is home to Hirsch Farms, the Golem production company with the namesake of Rabbi Ezra Hirsch. Hirsch Farms boasts one of the largest human workforces in the city and has been credited with greatly reducing human deaths and injuries through the use of sturdy golem laborers in place of mortals. The Last Wish Foundation, founded and operated by the Auguri, is one of the biggest draws to the amalgamate for monsters who otherwise have no interest in visiting the district of the unwanted. The prospect of having one's any wish granted appeals to even the strongest of monsters, and the dangers of wording a wish incorrectly have earned the company the grudging respect of even the most diabolic of Gone Streeters. In addition to implementation of a golem labor force, humans feel safest in the amalgamate due to the founding of the Werewatch, a werewolf-run organization dedicated to finding and protecting missing persons. My story is titled Lore. It's not my lore, it's the story. Oh, you mean the story? Oh. I guess I could read it then. Hopefully it's not too long because I just got through reading like about 30k words. of fan fiction. I'll try to get through it though. Let's see. Common occupations in the amalgamate from most to least common: cashier, laborer, farmer, primarily commuting to the red wastes, magical material handler, customer service rep, receptionist, magical apprentice, occult information technology, OIT tech support, golem sales representative, werewatch personnel, primarily werewolves. Despite the amalgamate having the largest human population in the city, its annual mortality rate, thanks to werewatch and Hirsch farms, is relatively low. Annual statistics as recorded by the Bureau of Lifetime Management and Statistics are as follows. Gone Street, 3,786 human deaths. Esail Way. Joe, were you the secret viewer in the last stream? No, it wasn't them. I think it was someone from Twitter. Because Joe is from the anthology, and I posted this stream in the anthology Discord. So that's where he's from. Whoever saw the stream was from Twitter. Oh, hi, Jaxie. I thought you were asleep. Okay, let's get back to reading this. And let's see, Esail Way has 3,054 deaths a year. The District of the Dearly Departed has 2,897 deaths a year. The Amalgamate has 897. The Red Waste has 564. Serenity has 43. And New Nimbus has 5. Wow, what's New Nimbus doing? Because the amalgamate is meant to represent all monsters and is therefore a collection of every district in the city, it does not have 2 months dedicated to celebrating it. The other months are as follows. January and February is months of the dead. March and April is months of the skies. May and June is the months of the tranquil. July and August is the months of the blazing. September and October is the month of the tides. And November to December is the month of the vanish. Hey, month of the blazing is for the red wastes. That's where I'm at. The amalgamate is the only district that doesn't have a name for the city other than the city. The other 8 names are as follows. District of the Dearly Departed calls it Ankenville. Serenity Meadows calls it Titania. Esail Way calls it Binloke. Gone Street calls it... I have no idea how to pronounce that. Erschling? Erschling? New Nimbus calls it City Indigo. And the Red Race calls it Pierco du Murda. I'm responsible for that, sorry. Yeah, I think it means shitty city in Italian, but like... For this, it was kind of like not full-on Italian. Now let's move on to the second district, the Red Wastes. Yes! This is where I'm at. This is where my dragons are. The home of the Aflame, the hottest district in more ways than one. Let's see. The Red Wastes are home to a population of less than 250,000 blazing denizens of the city. It was the 6th of the city's districts, planned and developed in the year 135 PU. The district, being home to a population of almost entirely beings that thrive most in fire or otherwise high-temperature environments, consists primarily of buildings, pillars, and obelisks constructed out of concrete, black basalt, or obsidian. Oh, I wish I could find that picture I drew of it. The most populated section of the district is located along a channel of lava, within which the scorching magma folk reside. The district center is a place of decadence and avarice, with sidewalks embedded with jewels exclusively found in the Red Wastes. Wealthy firefolk draped in gowns sewn from magically possessed magma and gems, and beautiful elementals ready to indulge one's every desire. Elementals and dragons. While other districts, such as Iselway and New Nimbus, exist in climates that are unsustainable to human life, leadership within the Red Waste is the only one that has refused adjustments to make the region more habitable to those outside of its residents. Due to the extremely hostile environment, the Red Waste residential area is entirely restricted to humans. This restriction gives it a lower annual human mortality rate, though the number is still relatively high considering humans should not be there to begin with. Just outside the district of fire and debauchery, however, are acres of rolling hills and lush valleys. While the district itself cannot sustain any life that doesn't thrive in the extreme heat, the lava that flows through it leaves the soil in the surrounding area fertile in rich nutrients. This has made the district a leading producer in not only gems and materials, but also fruits and vegetables. Humans are not permitted to live within the Red Waste, but they do make for cheap labor as farmers outside the district. Let's see, history. It is not known how the fiery Red Waste came to be, but like Sailway in the district of the Departed, its unique properties existed long before the founding of the city. Most researchers and historians theorize that a powerful dragon and a fire elemental waged war in ancient times, and the climax of the battle took place in what is now the Red Waste, decimating it and leaving an enormous crater of magma behind. Genshin vibes. I'm just joking. The large gap between the construction of Iselway and the construction of the Red Waste is due to the elemental Emperor Valen Pyramus's adamant refusal to relinquish complete power and resign himself only to a single vote on behalf of his people to determine the fate of the city. He voted nay at the first Global Interspecies Conference to decide on the founding of the city, and offers of concession, including resources and more land extending the Red Waste, did not appear to sway him. It is believed that the Dragon Emperor, Lord of the Drax's Witherhide, I think that's his alias, ultimately helped to bring the Emperor around. But considering the stubbornness and volatility of both parties, that has never been confirmed. Facts about the neighborhood. Common occupations in the Red Waste, from most common to least: farmer, miner, refuse collector, chef, jeweler, welder, glass blower, feral dragon tamer, fire marshal, sex worker. Yeah. You know me, I had to throw prostitution in there. Where there be dragons, love follows. Empty love. The Red Waste is home to earth elementals, which specialize in the disposal of waste. It's not how the district got its name, but hey, it fits. Some of the less agreeable rumors floating around the Red Waste involve trafficking of monster body parts and the occasional disappearance of human farmers. Though those disappearances are usually chalked up to a human not being careful and accidentally falling into a pool of lava. It happens. Yeah, I think this part with the humans being taken, this was from Maxine Jazz, because in their story, the humans are taken to like this underground rotisserie where they're like burned and eaten for the elementals, fire elementals. Sex work is very much legal and in fact celebrated in the Red Wastes, and the district is known for celebrating freedom of expression and sexuality, and fun times. Pouring water on a denizen of the Red Waste is a great way to get killed instantly and painfully. Don't do that. I like that part. The red race usual model stems from the sound Emperor Pyramus heard a group of humans making after setting them on fire for the first time. He and nobles present the sound to be delightfully pleasant and moving. Human screams, basically. The red race would be doubtless the red race would doubtless have one of the highest human mortality rates were not for restrictions placed on human visitors and residents, barring them from entering. Nonetheless, the rate is unusually high. The red race has the fifth highest annual mortality rate. Annual statistics, as recorded by the Bureau of Lifetime Management and Statistics, are as follows. Yeah, we read this part on the other page. Each district, aside from the amalgamate, is represented as celebrated by 2 months out of the year. The red race is celebrated in the 7th and 8th months, the month of the blazing. Yeah, we read this part. I don't need to ask Bree again about approval, but there is like a section of the red race where there are dragon habitats. They're like dome-like structures where different types of elemental dragons live. And that part's usually like closed off to humans. And there is like fire with the fire nagas are the ones who are usually mining the gems at the volcano. Let's see what else. Oh, District of the Dearly Departed. I think this is where the dead stuff is. Maybe it's almost time for me to go. Maybe I'll get to a monster article. There's only one so far. Trueborn Vampires. I don't think I've ever read this. Ooh, this is nice and long. Not too long though. Let's see. These are Dez's monsters. Trueborn vampires are humanoid sanguinivores based on birds that drink blood. Originating from the neighborhood in the clouds, New Nimbus, they were exiled to the district of the dearly departed, the streets of the dead. After their self-experimentation with forbidden magics resulted in the creation of pseudo-vampires. Most Trueborns, as a result, revile pseudos, blaming them for their banishment from the skies and relegation to the district of the dearly departed. Most noble Trueborns consider themselves above the undead and see their new placement among the dead as an unforgivable insult. The animosity between Trueborns and the growing population of pseudos became so severe that a particularly gruesome event resulted in the Federation of Creatures, the FOC, voting to allow Trueborns to relocate to Gaunt Street, finally giving all parties some measure of peace. Trueborn vampires, unusual in that they are the only living monster species that primarily resides in the district of the dearly departed, lumped into the vampire category along with their undead pseudo-vampire counterparts, a result of extensive and ill-advised self-experimentation. Trueborns tend to resent their truly undead neighbors. They will throw themselves as superior to them, scorning and shunning them, particularly their pseudo-vampire descendants. In fact, the animosity is such that Trueborns will often hunt pseudos as a show of dominance. Let's see, diet, 90% human blood, 10% nuts and seeds. Basis, Kriya, vampire fish or a rockpecker. Circadian rhythm, nocturnal. Weakness is sunlight. Leader is Nalissa. Their sight's above average and infrared vision activated by a third eye film. It's almost 8:30. Okay, so I got through that real quick. Um, what's over here? Just one? Hmm. There isn't much here. Let me check the Discord for this. Maybe there's something in here I can read. Hmm. Hmm. Nothing in there. Oh, hi, Mal. Wow, it's been a while since I've seen you here. I guess I'll continue the vampire article. I was just reading through like some stuff from the anthology I'm participating in. There's supposed to be like 50 different monsters. Hmm. Let's see. Trueborn vampires are recognizable by their bird-like features, including feathers sprouting from their hair, bird-like lower legs, wings, and tail feathers. In addition, they possess two sets of fangs, pointed ears, and retractable talons. Some possess scaled hands, and eye colors vary depending on the carnivorous bird they are physiologically based on. And they follow the human growth rate. And they rely on human blood, but they can sustain on other humanoids. They do not need to kill when they feed, though some violent ones do, especially the living vamps. Most benefit is to be had when prey is left alive for visiting and feeding in the future. They have many venom types, from paralyzing to pain to bleeding to euphoria. And euphoria will cause an addiction in prey and cause them to seek to be fed on again. Anemia can apply here. This can be counteracted with magic. Let's see. Social structure. Ruled by a matriarch, females tend to have a high social status. Males need to perform rituals to attract mates, similar to those of birds. Non-binary/gender fluid trueborns are highly respected, though feminine representations are regarded with more respect than masculine. Progressive vampires often continue to seek shattering stereotypes of femininity and masculinity. Traditionalists oppose this. Let's see, facial characteristics. Wow, Dennis sure brought a lot for this. That's good. Detail is good. Varies drastically. Trueborn vampires are typically on the extreme end of the scale in terms of traditional societal beauty standards, either inhumanly beautiful or extremely grotesque. An individual vampire's hunting methods are greatly affected by whichever end of the scale they fall. Traditionally beautiful vampires prefer luring prey, whereas monstrous-looking vampires are more inclined to ambushing and hunting. Peak strength is super speed and super sense and agility. Well, okay, let me just we got to that one. Now let me open up what I have for dragons real quick before I had to take a break. If I could find it. Okay. So for the dragon section. Where does your monster come from? Skip that section. Man, this is a lot too. What's their diet like? It varies by dragon, mostly carnivorous, but there are some dragon species who prefer fish, blood, gem dust, or greens. Vegetables, I think. Dragons can also consume human food with their human forms. How do they feel about humans? Do they hate them, not care about them, want to help them, pity them? It varies from dragon to dragon, except for a handful of families and their minions. Dragons have no general perception of humans, just like how humans have varied perceptions toward animals. What organizations do they run? A science company, brothels, weapons company, anything tech related. Do they have a leader? Who leads them? Fowl is seen as the general leader slash representative, but each family has its own leader because not all dragons agree with him. And let's see, are they represented in the Federation of Creatures? Yup. What can they do? What kind of powers do they have? A lot of their powers are currently heavily suppressed by Thal's presence. Let's see, the standard elemental breath, controlling an element based on the dragon's element. Quick reaction time, durability. Shape-shifting. What do they physically look like? It varies from dragon to dragon. There are 10 orders. 6 limbers has wings, arms, and legs. Wyverns walk on wings, have legs. Worms walk on wings only, no arms or no legs. Amphitheres walk wings on their waist, no arms and no legs. Lindworms have upper legs slash arms only. Noodles can fly in the air, may possess limbs. Drakes have no wings but have arms and legs. And we got serpents and nagas, hydras. Y'all know what those other ones are. Where do they prefer to live? What is their community like? Elemental dragons are kept in special habitats that reflect their element. Water dragons get a nice pond and a water park. Fire dragons live in the lava parts of the rare wastes. Earth dragons get a forest in their habitat. Air slash wind dragons live in a floating habitat. Storm dragons live in a constant, artificially generated storm. Gem dragons live in a gem forest. Shadow dragons live in a dome covered with Vanta black. And light dragons, they hid their habitat. Each of these habitats is maintained by a bulb-like device. The overseers of these habitats are the main families. And are they social or do they prefer to be left alone? It varies from dragon to dragon. How do they feel about other districts in the city? It varies from dragon to dragon, but a general view is you suck, but we like you anyway. Are there any monsters in the city they get along with? It varies, but generally they want to get along with everyone. The leading family usually asks the other families to send peacekeepers to other districts to enhance people's perception of them. They want to make sure everyone loves dragons, because if everyone loves them, that means there's a high chance for some cross-species loving. And that's it for that part of the document. Hi, Varsky. Let me cut this off again while I switch out. I don't want to be doxing myself again. Okay, now let's see. else's lore can I read from here? There's the spreadsheet. That's the idea document. Here we are, the monster folder. No, wait, this is the contributor idea list. This is not it. Here we are. Wait, this is not it. Where is it? Huh. Anthology, organization, lore. There's nothing in this folder. Nothing in there. I'll have to tell Bree about it. Let's see. Stories. Hey Joe, what did you say what your story was? Jeez, Rin. They dox themselves doing dumb stuff behind the scenes. I actually doxed myself earlier. Again. But I think I need to take that break now, so I should be back in about 10 minutes. Yep, 10 minutes. Okay, I'm back. They dox themselves doing dumb stuff behind the scenes. Hold on a second. Did I dox myself again? Told ya. Bye again. Remember to destroy this VOD. Hold on, wait. Did I do it again? Hold on, wait. I had my screen off, so I had my screen off, so I didn't dox myself again. I think you're talking about previous stream, right? We must be talking about previous stream. My story is called Lore. It's about brownies. I don't think you should read it on stream though. Okay. I won't. I probably shouldn't read other people's stories on stream though, considering the content. Let's see. Turn this back on. Okay. Not sure if I'm into finishing this one. I want to go back to the districts. That gives like a whole overview. Okay, District of the Dearly Departed. Is this where all the dead stuff goes? The district of the Dearly Departed is home to a population of over 2 million undead denizens of the city. I wonder if they're all dead from like dying there. It was the first of the city's districts, planned and developed in the year 114 PU. The district is separated into two sections. The first is an upper level that appears as a gothic, sparsely lit neighborhood, magically enchanted to maintain the appearance of a night without stars, permanently. It is home to what are known as the tangible undead, lich, zombies, revenants, wights, vampires, necromancers, and dhampir. The second is the lower level, accessible through several crypt-like entrances scattered throughout the upper level. The buildings of the lower level are designed similarly to those on the upper level, with some distinctions. A lack of doors and stairs, no lighting whatsoever, and very little sound. While the brave few among the living can venture into the upper levels of the DDD relatively safely, the same cannot be said of its underground counterpart. I wonder if they're all dead from dying there. Okay, I know that sounds stupid. But like what I was trying to say was like, I wonder if they're all dead from dying in like the main parts of the city, like, or is it just like dead folks from like Another. Yeah, that's stupid. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I think since the plan for this is to make it like an RPG, so like you can create your characters out of this or make AUs out of it. In the lower level of the DDD, you can find what are mostly known as intangible undead: ghosts, wraiths, poltergeists, shades, and banshees. History. The DDD was founded mostly by pure coincidence. The would-be denizens of the city, in seeking out valuable resources as possible locations for the new settlement, came across a large region that repelled the living, filling them with a deep sense of dread. Hold on a second. The would-be denizens of the city. Okay. The would-be denizens of the city, in seeking out valuable resources as possible locations for the new settlement, came across a large region that repelled the living, filling them with a deep sense of dread. Plant and animal life died at the threshold of this region, transformed into ghastly apparitions or resurrected as rotting corpses. Initially ruled uninhabitable and excluded from the first drafts of the zoning map, further research into this region found that the same unclassified force that repelled the living instead attracted the undead. After some debate on account of the sheer size of the region, the representatives agreed to designate it the territory of the dead. Today, it is still not known how the unusual force manifested. Most historians believe a spell cast by a powerful sect of liches and necromancers to be the culprit. As necromancers and liches are the bona fide ruling class of the DDD, they are content to let that theory prevail. Some historians, however, theorize that it was not the work of liches or necromancers, but that of an extremely powerful shade whose essence still lingers to this day. Those who believe this version of events prefer not to publicize that opinion, lest they draw the ire of the DDD leadership. There's the facts about the neighborhood. Local restaurants serving raw meat and human body parts, sometimes live, in less than legal spots. Ectoplasm and apple juice. The undead love apple juice. Transparent buildings designed by ghostly architects. No doors or stairs, since ghosts don't need them. hotels are basically morgues. Don't ever say that to locals, though. Part of the district looks like a graveyard at the surface, but underneath is a bustling underground neighborhood. Entrance can be found in a crypt, probably. The biggest houses and mansions are typically owned by necromancers and liches, the ruling class of the undead. Hospitals in DDD are the only ones that take dead patients, in addition to primarily dying ones. Unless the patient has a DNR, does not resurrect, order on file, a doctor who specializes in necromancy can bring them back from the undead, submitting the proper paperwork. Post-resurrected can secure the recently resurrected individual housing in the DDD. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? Part of the citizens' taxes go to an enchantment that keeps the neighborhood permanently night. This is one of the only two districts in the city, the other being Gone Street, that has this enchantment. On the black market, ghosts can buy time to possess the bodies of the living. Common occupations in the DDD is custodian, housekeeper, construction worker, tangibles only, teacher, receptionist, librarian, accountant, journalist, biohazard cleaner, and hermatologist, vampires. Gas and water utilities are less common and treated as a luxury in this neighborhood. The DDD, is where the Bureau of Lifetime Management and Statistics headquarters is located. This organization, founded and operated solely by banshees, monitors and records the rates of death of each of the city's districts. Though many residents of the district of the dearly departed prey on humans, the presence of banshees tracking the number of annual deaths in each district helps keep the more bloodthirsty monsters in check. Even so, the DDD has the third highest human mortality rate in the city. This is the probably last neighborhood you want to end up in if you're human. Even the most disciplined undead have a taste for human fear, energy, flesh, or some combination of the three. I think we'll. Should I skip over Gone Street? This one seems short. Do dragons wear armor? Armor? Is it, you mean armor or armor? Well, some of them wear armor. Gone Street is home to a population of over 3.7 million night-dwelling denizens of the city. It was the fourth of the city's districts, planned and developed in the year 124 PU. The district is a winding labyrinth of streets wreathed in shadow and mist, where the upper level of the district of the dearly departed is sparsely lit, with dim street lamps spread out across every few blocks. There is not a hint of light on Gone Street. To the inhabitants of the district, those gifted with night vision and more comfortable in the shadows, Gone Street is a bustling hub, more active than anywhere else in the city, save perhaps the Amalgamate. The towering skyscrapers built from obsidian make the majority of buildings in the neighborhood. Interspersed with the occasional city block and dipped into bottomless caverns for the underground dwellers. Gone Street is entirely silent during the day, but to the surprise of many of the city's other residents early on after the district's founding, it's a wild party spot at night. Whether it's more dangerous to wander around Gone Street at night or during the day as any prey species is a fiercely debated topic to this day. Gone Street is home to the most prominent law firm in the city. Mistopheles, Lucci, and Partners, whose founder was responsible for drafting the accord signed at the first Interspecies Global Conference and officializing the founding of the city. It is nonetheless considered wise to approach negotiations with any law firm. It is nonetheless considered wise to approach negotiations with the law firm and any other in Gone Street with ample caution. Humans and other prey species are advised to not enter an agreement with any resident of Gone Street at all. Okay, history. I just changed the music. One of the greatest disputes in the city's early history came when plans were being drawn up for the construction of Gone Street, as the other two remaining districts, Sail Way and the Red Waste, were best suited for aquatic and volcanic regions respectively, and the Amalgamate was planned to make up the largest district in the very heart of the city. The only remaining space for Gone Street was between the DDD and Serenity Meadows. Most of the highest ranking officials in Serenity Meadows did not take to this well. What words were exactly exchanged between Lord Carvish Elmcrest and the city and the Empress Katina Kasha of the Nightmare Folk during the announcement of plans for Gone Street's conception is not known and was never recorded. But the resulting altercation threatened the tenuous peace between monsters and several representatives. Between monsters when several representatives came to blows. It was only the intervention of the other representatives and concessions offered to appease both sides that allowed the construction to proceed. Since then, Gone Street has earned the reputation as the place to go when you need to buy a boon, whether that be wealth, love, strength, or perhaps even a new life entirely. Let me exit this out. I really want to finish that fic. Okay, y'all, so I think what I'll do is I'll go back to that other fic in a couple minutes. So let me just continue this out. And then I'll drop a link. Okay. I think I can skip this section. So let's go to New Nimbus. I'll just read the history and the about section for these. New Nimbus is one of the smallest districts of the city, housing a population of just under 250,000 beings of the sky. It was the third of the city's districts, planned and developed in the year 121 PU. The district is unique that, true to its name, it is functionally a cloud in the sky. It floats approximately 3 kilometers above the city, standing at the amalgamate and slowly circling until it makes a full cycle once a day. The buildings are constructed of Nimbian crystals, small white minerals that are cold to the touch and harvestable from clouds whenever elementals are nearby. These crystals had gone undiscovered to all except the storm archons and the slives, the sylphs, who have lived in the sky since the world's beginning and primarily kept to themselves before the founding of the city. These crystals are legendary, not only for their iconic crystalline, obviously, appearance that have turned New Nimbus into a glistening utopia in the clouds, but also because of their magical properties. It's not uncommon for jewelry and clothes to include Nimbian crystals, since doing so allows the wearer to walk among the clouds as though it is solid ground. The denizens of New Nimbus do not need crystals to navigate the district, but nonetheless view them as a cultural staple and use them frequently. Hello, feels like it's been so long since the last reading stream. Nice. Oh, hi, Eva. I was gonna switch over to something else. This is just OC stuff at the moment. Well, not my OCs. It's the anthology that I'm involved in with my OCs. Okay, now more back to this. All structures on New Nimbus must be, by law, constructed at least 58.3% out of Nimbian crystals. This law was put into place shortly after the founding of the district, when an apartment building that did not meet the requirements plummeted out of the sky, resulting in 81 deaths. Yikes. New Nimbus takes the namesake of Nimbostratus, an ancient city of air elementals and the only city on record in the history of the original. Really? It is not entirely known what became of Nimbostratus. I'll be back again. Back. You don't know. Who doesn't know? Where was I? It is not entirely known what became of Nimbostratus, as even the oldest air elementals have conflicting and inconsistent accounts of its literal rise and fall. But the prevailing narrative is that, upon learning of the existence of Nimbian crystals, other monsters, or at least the ones who could actually reach them, waged war upon the elementals, toppling the grand city from the sky. There are no recorded instances of war taking place in the sky, however, and some denizens of the city have dedicated their lives to learning what really destroyed the grand city. Part of why New Nimbus took a bit longer than expected to be constructed was because negotiations with the Storm Archons took longer than expected, as the elementals were less than enthused by the prospect of sharing their home with a vast collection of Nimbian crystals with non-elementals. An agreement was only made after the other leaders of the city consented to doing a dedicated section of the amalgamate for elementals. Okay. And here we are, a sailway. I'm also placed in this district with Nagas. You're like snake people. A sailway is home to a population of roughly 1.7 million sea-dwelling denizens of the city. It was the fifth of the city's districts, planned and developed in the year 129 PU. The design of these sailways is by far the least cohesive and appears to the average visitor a cluster of buildings and vague structures. Oh wait, it just came to me. I need link to this. Where should I drop this? For now, I'll just drop it here. There, drop the link. Okay. The design of a sailway is by far the least cohesive, and appears to the average visitor a cluster of buildings and vague structures. Some made of coral, some made of stone, some made of seashells, and some homes owned by wealthier residents, even made of Nimbus crystals imported from New Nimbus. Big shout out to Kelas for this. As some sailway residents enjoy the light of the surface more than others, the city's layout takes a top-down approach, with the majority of homes possessing roofs that nearly reach the surface. This allows residents capable of walking on land to do so quickly and easily, or simply sun themselves underwater if the mood ever strikes. Visitors are encouraged to visit the upper layer of a sailway, and it becomes a major tourist hotspot after the Friends Not Food Act of 429, a council-led initiative intended to welcome humans into the city as well. Friends, not food. Okay. Binloke Harbor, which serves as the border between Serenity Meadows and Gaunt Street, at the easternmost end of the city, helped assuage the angry leaders of Serenity Meadows, who were still furious about the placement of Gaunt Street directly next to them 5 years earlier. And this is where I'm going to stop for this stream, because I've been going for 2 hours with this one, even though I took a break. But I want to go back to a certain dirty story. Don't worry, I'll leave a link again in Shoma's server and the Wyvern server, Chocolate server, and wherever else I had leave links. I don't know, but I wanted to finish that fourth chapter. Okay, I'm ending this one.